Good morning and welcome to Real Talk with Tamara. As you guys come into the room, please hit the like button. Also, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. I want you guys to know how much I appreciate you so much. All of my new subscribers, all of my subscribers that have been here with me from the very beginning, that ride with me, that rock with me. I want you guys to know how much I appreciate you. I stress the importance of hitting the like button because it helps to keep the video in the algorithm, okay? And hitting the subscription button so that you'll be notified every time I drop videos or go live and you can be a part of this channel, okay? I wanted to talk about some news that I just saw in the Memphis News. They're saying that 8 more officers will face charges in the Tyree Nichols case. I want to go ahead and go to that, okay? They're working on reform right now as we speak. CJ Davis was at the City Hall. She and the fire chief, um, let me see. I don't see the video right here. I might have to, I don't, okay, here it is right here. Hold on.
We have seen his celebration of life, candlelight vigils, officers fired, and fire department personnel disciplined.
And protests are still ongoing as communities around the country demand police reform in Tyree's name.
And politicians are moving swiftly to make sure this doesn't happen again. Right now, the Memphis City Council is meeting to discuss department reform with Memphis Police Chief CJ Davis and Memphis Fire Chief Gina Sweat. Some council members are looking for change, calling for annual reviews of training techniques, updated traffic enforcement methods, and independent review.
Okay, hold on, you guys. That I want you guys to see this. I clicked on these. Sometimes when you have the wrong things open, okay, here it is right here.
Supervisors watching over
Just reckless driving by the Memphis Police Department. In the week since, we have seen his celebration of life, candlelight vigils, officers fired, and fire department personnel disciplined.
And protests are still ongoing as communities around the country demand police reform in Tyree's name.
And politicians are moving swiftly to make sure this doesn't happen again. Right now, the Memphis City Council is meeting to discuss department reform with Memphis Police Chief CJ Davis and Memphis Fire Chief Gina Sweat. Some council members are looking for change, calling for annual reviews of training techniques, updated traffic enforcement methods, and independent reviews of any incident involving excessive force.
Now, Chief Davis says she needs more supervisors watching over her officers. Here's just some of what she had to say.
We want a department that stands and is represented in a way that our community will be proud. And we're struggling with that in this incident and are willing to make the changes that are needed in order to address it and make difference for the future.
And just a short time ago, we learned 8 more officers will be notified of policy violations in connection to the Nichols case. The city planning to hold hearings next week before it releases additional video and evidence.
Okay, there we see that 8 more officers are to be charged for violation. And we saw CJ Davis standing down at City Hall. Of course, as I said before, she was down there with the current fire chief. Okay, so it's going to be interesting to see what those violations were, who those officers were, and what they did not do as it relates to Tyree. I'm glad to see that they're pushing for reforms and things of that nature as it relates to the police department. Now, I do know when you're at City Hall, when she's down there at City Hall because she needs more supervisors, which means she's probably going to standing before the city council to see if they can get more funds so that they can make more promotions. The supervisor level starts at a sergeant's level, okay? And if I'm not mistaken, you have to be on the department either 3 or 5 years before you can even take the sergeant's test, which I think is appropriate, because I don't know if 3 years, I think it's 3 years with the sheriff's office, 5 years with the police department. I think is important and vital, as we see, that you have experience before you even step into a supervisory position, right? Because you want to make sure that the officers have gotten all that piss and vinegar out of their system. Okay, that's what they call gun ho officers. They just like to jump on anything. Got a lot of piss and vinegar, right, in them. So I'm happy to see that at least they're working to make sure that they put some things in place to make sure, to try to ensure, because you can never really control people. The only thing that they can do is just put things into place, so that they can ensure that there are consequences when things of this nature happens, right? So that makes me happy to know that. And I think it would be good for the Memphis Police Department to for the criteria to go back to what it was before. I know at one time before you had to have a degree before you could get on the department. But they kind of dropped that criteria a long time ago because they needed officers so bad. But they dropped it to just having a certain amount of hours, which is why they started paying for schooling for traffic officers and things of that nature. You have to be a traffic officer before you actually went on to be a P2. A traffic officer is a P1, and after you got the amount of hours that you needed, if you didn't graduate, of course, you could go on to be a P2. Okay. So I was able to take advantage of that program also, right? So like I said, I'm happy that they are at least moving forward. You still have people that are out there protesting. They have not given up yet. So that makes me proud that it didn't stop when Tyree was buried, right? You still have people that are being proactive. And really, that's the only way for things to get done. When people see that you're going to keep your foot on their neck and hold their feet to the fire, it makes them continuously be proactive. It's not like, oh, okay, well, they'll get emotional and then stop, when this ends or whatever, stop when Tyree is buried, they'll go on to something else, probably for the big time opportunities like Al Sharpton. But you have activists in the city like Frank Gotti and Cassio and them. I know Cassio personally. I know Frank Gotti, but I know Cassio personally. Okay. Cassio used to call me all the time. I have to call and catch up with him. They are out there, okay, consistently. I know Cassio has a lot of heart. Frank Gotti is out there doing his thing. Cassio is definitely on top of everything. So it makes me proud that they're out there. They can't do it by themselves, but it seems that they still have a lot of people that are still out there behind them. They are definitely great leaders, right? So young leaders, they don't get their props like they should. But I don't know Frank Gotti that well, but I do know that Cassio has a lot of heart, right? Because he was trying to help me out when I was trying to get some help for James Irby's family. So he was definitely instrumental in that. Okay. So it seems like that, with them consistently being out there, they're pushing, right? They are definitely pushing, and something is going to be done about it. But I know it don't stop at the city council. Okay, the city council can allot some funds to make sure that they train, because Memphis has one of the best police academies. They spend more money than anybody on police training police officers. Okay, so what they have to do is make sure that they vet the officers that they bring on more, and also they have to, I think they're trying to get money so that they can make some promotions and then still bring on other good officers, right? People that are going to be dedicated to the job, and they're putting things into place so that they can, incorporate that in training before they even come out of the training academy, which is good, so that these officers will know, the new recruits will know what they can what they cannot do as it relates to brutality and things of that nature. Okay, when I was going through the academy, we did practicums and things of that nature on force, what we could and couldn't do, how to handcuff and fighting and things of that nature. They did teach us that, but evidently, you know, some people don't know, i.e. what we saw with these officers. It seemed like to me their asses didn't know when to stop or whatever. I don't know if that's a training problem or was that just a heart problem, because it speaks about their character. Because how could you treat a human being like that? That's a character problem, right? That's an evil heart problem, right? What they did to Tyre, that was just evilness on a whole nother level. And when you got that type of evilness in your heart, no amount of training will prevent that, because you're just an evil being, right? So, but like I said, it makes me happy that they are being proactive. And so now I want to see if they're going to push on to where it really matters. Like, you got to go upstate to Nashville, to the capital, to get with those lawmakers, because they're truly the ones that could put the seal on a lot of these laws, these reforms and things of that nature. I want to see what the president and vice president are going to do. Is she going to go back up under a rock she had been hiding up under? Or are they really going to do something? They're going to either, you know, because she was talking about what they're going to do. I'm going to see if they're going to either they're going to piss or get up off the pot. They're going to get up off the pot or piss on it, right? Because so far they ain't did nothing, okay? So we're going to see, you know, we're definitely going to see. But if these officers, they're saying they will face charges, they are definitely holding people's feet to the fire. I got sense enough to know that, you know, was it a supervision thing? Because the sergeants are the first line supervisors. Were the sergeants allowing these men to get away on this specialized unit with some stuff? Was he not paying close attention? The reason that they felt comfortable enough to do that, because like I said, the sergeants are the first line supervisors, and the sergeants report to the lieutenant. Okay, the lieutenants are not going to be out there in the field. He's going to rely on his sergeant to give him information about, really, they're the direct supervisors, the sergeants are. So I would like to know who that sergeant was, and was he supervising that task force like he should have, right? Because the lieutenant reports to the major, the major to the colonel, and the colonel to the police chief, which would be Davis. So it goes through quite a bit of channels of supervisors before it gets to her. But I'm sure at this point now, just like, you know, I think they're going to start doing, I'm hearing, just like they're doing a Young Doss case, they have to give information. They have a meeting every day on what is going on in the Young Doss case. She and her chiefs have their hands all in that. They have meetings on new developments and things of that nature. And I'm sure as it relates to these task force now, she's going to do the exact same thing, as you know. So that makes me proud, you know, that at least it's something moving forward. And it comes from so many, the protesters being proactive in making sure, because there are a lot of people out there that are definitely, that have not given up. They definitely got their heart in it, and they are not going to stop until there is something done, you know, as it relates to reform and things of that nature. So that makes me proud to know that at least there is some proactivity going on as it relates to that. You know, my heart still goes out to Tyre's family and things of that nature, but that just can't be any police brutality. And hopefully they can start to, like I said, do something so that they can bring in better officers. The training is there, you know, but they can incorporate some more stuff so that these officers can know that they don't just get a badge so that they can bully people. Okay. As I had always said before, everybody don't get on the department for the right reasons. There are a lot that get on to protect and serve. They dreamed of being a police officer ever since they were children. And there's some that get on because they got their asses towed up out the frame, okay, when they was in school, and they get on for revenge to bully. Okay, so those are the ones that we don't want on the damn department. We want those who are going to actively go out there and get the criminals, arrest the criminals, not give these criminals a break, not just go after the dope boys. Because, you know, as I've always said, that I had an issue with how and not just the police, but even the system within itself try to they're harder. How could you be harder on somebody that's selling weed, or I guess a drug dealer? And I'm not saying that dealing drugs is okay, it's not okay, but you don't have issues with a murderer. You want to be harder on them than you are a rapist, a murderer. You give a drug dealer 30 years for having so many pounds of drugs, but you give a rapist 6 months, a child pedophile 6 months of probation. I got issues with that. There's something wrong with that. Okay, so I think the laws need to be changed as a whole. I'm not one of those ones because I might have jacked up people in my family gonna hate the police because I want my family to go out there and rape folks. So your damn husband or boyfriend is a fucking pedophile, and I don't want no police officers because they messing with I want my boyfriend to be able to go out there and molest or look at a young girl and not go to jail. Some people hate the police for the wrong reason, right? I ain't one of those ones. I'm not a sick one. I don't like those ones. I feel like those that's out there violating people ought to have their goddamn asses in jail. That ain't gonna change. But I also feel like those police officers that's out there violating people, they need to be in jail too, right? And not on the force. See, I'm a logical thinking person. I always have been, okay? But 8 more officers will face charges in the Tyre Nichols case. It seems like to me they are cleaning house. So that makes me happy, okay? I want to get on here and report this. I got to get ready and go out here to, I got to go somewhere. I be forgetting. I don't tell y'all my drop. Folks be wanting to know your drop, to find out a drop. Okay. I ain't going to the shoe store, so you ain't got to try to figure out where I get my shoes from, okay? To try to get my drop, okay? But you guys, please like, share, and subscribe, okay? Also, if you would like to donate to the channel, you could definitely donate to the channel via Cash App. I want you guys to know that I appreciate you so much. I'll talk with you later.